Hey, questions, are you ready to come back to church? Man, I know I am ready for you to come back to church. It's been 10 weeks since we gathered together as a church family, and I miss you guys terribly. And so here's some good news. We will have some limited opportunities to return to church this Sunday as we gradually begin a reopening process. Now, I'll tell you how to reserve your seat and be a part of that in just a few minutes. But first, I want you to know that things will be different as we gather together again, okay? We're following currently the guideline of 25% max capacity in the building. We are requiring that everyone practice some very strict standards of social distancing. We are not having children's ministry and not allowing children under the junior high age into the gatherings with us at this time. There's going to be no cafe service, and there'll be no golf cart rides, man, which is terrible, right? But those things are not possible with the current guidelines that we're following. You know, as a matter of fact, I've had a small team of our ministry leaders and our shepherds here the past couple of weeks helping prepare and implement this strategy. And the biggest revelation for those folks has been, man, this won't be church the way that we're used to. And they're right. This is not the Quest Church that we left 10 weeks ago. This is now the Quest Church during the global pandemic, okay? The church now with a purpose of gathering while we strive to mitigate the risks that are involved with gathering. A church with a purpose of continuing our mission to proclaim the good news and offer help for life's hurts. We're not pushing the pause button on that, but we do have to do that differently than we did 10, 11 weeks ago before all the changes in our world took place, okay? So I'm not going to list all the guidelines and requirements that we have in place. You can read those in this email. You'll also see those when you go online to register, and you'll get some follow-up about those after you register. What I want to address with you for just a few minutes is the importance now of using the freedom that we have to serve one another in love during this time. You know, when it comes to our opinions about the COVID-19 pandemic, we all have different ones, okay? We all have different thoughts about how our world and our government and each other should respond to this pandemic. You know, some of us may be more carefree, and some of us, we're more cautious. Some of us are ready to move on and get back to the way things were, and some of us aren't sure that we can move on and get back to the way things were. Some of us will feel comfortable returning to church right now, and others won't. Here's the thing you know. The Quest Church has always been a place where you can come as you are and be loved and be valued and accepted. The Quest Church has been a family that has rejected any form of division, understanding that division in our church is of the devil. As a matter of fact, we wear as Quest partners a t-shirt that has the verse 1 Corinthians 3:9 on it, which says we are partners working together. We're in this thing together. In church, we must not, we cannot, we will not allow this virus to divide us. So the strategy we've chosen to employ as we take some measured steps together is a strategy that we hope will allow those who are ready to come back to church to do so while practicing some very strict standards of social distancing in an effort to mitigate the risk involved, okay? And there are risks involved with gathering. Let's not be cavalier about that. You know, the people that are coming back together in our church, we all have different factors at play. You know what? I've been more cautious during this time than maybe I normally would because I care for my 80-year-old father. I'm his sole caregiver. He's safe living independently, but I'm the only person that might introduce this virus into his home. And so I've been more careful. I have to be more careful so that I don't bring that to him. I know the biggest concern of our medical personnel and our first responders is not about their own personal safety, but about your safety. And the questions they're asking is, Jim, I'm concerned because I may be exposed and not know it, that I would come and expose someone else. So it's important to them that we practice these strict standards of social distancing so they don't think that they're infecting someone else. So I'm going to ask those, listen, of you who are more carefree, to limit your freedom, right, in order to serve those who are more cautious. And I'm going to ask those who are more cautious to accept and love those who are more carefree. I mean, read Romans chapter 14. Our love for each other compels us to do that, to accept and serve one another in love. So I want to say something very clear to you, okay, in love. If that's going to be a problem for those of you who are more carefree, it may not be the right time for you to return. I certainly would not want you to return and be resentful of the strict standards we put into place, and that we will encourage and require you to follow those standards for the protection of others, okay? And if those of you who are more cautious don't feel comfortable returning right now, it's not the time for you to return. I would not want you to come back and be so uncomfortable that you could not worship freely and enjoy the experience, because it might be more than you can take in your way you process how to deal with this virus, okay? Those who don't return right now, for whatever reason, folks, and some just won't be able to return. I get that. We're not allowing the children in right now, and so some of you won't be able to return, and I hate that, and I'm sorry for that. We do feel like that's an important step right now to protect your children. But whatever the reason, you are still a very important part of the Quest Church family. Please know that, okay? We are still here for you, ready to serve you. Please stay engaged online as our production team is producing a great online experience for you each week, and that's not changing. Stay connected with the content that our Teen Quest and our Kids Quest teams are putting out. They're working so hard to keep your teens and your kids connected, so encourage them to be a part of that. Stay in contact. Let us know how you're doing, how we can serve you. Submit your prayer requests. Stay engaged, okay, as we all take these next steps. Now, for those of you who then have read all the guidelines that we're going to be following on Sunday, and you will agree to join our efforts to mitigate the risk, because there is a risk, okay? And we're doing everything we can to mitigate that risk, but it'd be unrealistic of me to say that we can protect everyone and that we can guarantee you won't be exposed here at the Quest Church. I can't do that. No one can do that. We'll accept those risks. So if you're ready to do that, you'll want to choose one of the two gatherings, 9:15 or 11, in the link below, and reserve your seat using our online reservation system, okay? You'll notice that there are 4 chairs at each table. That's the max number of people we'll seat at a table, unless you're all of the same family, okay? So if your family is large, your immediate family is larger than 4, just reserve all the seats at that table and we'll add chairs for your family. That would be the case for someone like the Morse family. Bob and Crystal come with their 3 teenage girls. They'd reserve 4 seats. We'd make 5 available. Should the Dunn family all come at one time, I'll be on the stage, but there'd be 8 of us that would be seated at a table. We'll just reserve all 4 seats at that table and then add chairs. Our family can sit together and with that size, okay? The big doors to the worship center that will allow you into the building will only open 15 minutes before the gathering. And so you'll see the door open. You'll know that's the time you can come in. Buy your registration online. You'll even receive an email notification when the doors are opening. Finally, if you have to, for some reason are not going to be able to attend and you made a reservation, please cancel that as soon as you know you won't be able to attend, so that those seats can be available to someone else. I don't know yet. We have no idea what's going to happen, but we may fill up all those seats. And so please make sure that you're not holding a seat that you're not going to use on Sunday. Finally, your guests are welcome, okay? We're still a church on mission to proclaim the good news and offer help for life's hurts to our community. And this might be a great time to invite someone to the church. You probably got friends and neighbors who are desperate to get out and do anything right now. They're like, hey, I don't even like church, but I'll go just to get out. And we're trying to practice these safe standards so that they can be comfortable coming with you. So reserve your seat and reserve a seat for them if they've agreed to come. Folks, the last thing I'll just say, hey, can I implore you, ask you to be full of grace and mercy and patience during this process, okay, as we take these measured steps. We're figuring this out as we go. This is all uncharted territory. No doubt we're going to hit bumps and it won't go smooth. We can just expect that. You feel free to call me, email me with any questions or concerns or constructive feedback you have, okay? If you have complaints, you can call or email Pastor JJ. He'll handle those. No, he doesn't want to hear those either, okay? If you can be a part of the solution and not a part of the problem, man, I'd love to hear from you as we begin these steps back. I am looking forward to seeing you on Sunday. If you're ready to come back, I hope that it'll be a great experience for you, even though it'll be a different experience. But we're going to gather together, and God's still big, and God's still good, and His Spirit is still going to be with us. And so you go right now if you're ready to come back and reserve your seats for this Sunday. I love you, and God bless you.